Question 1. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Benjamin Franklin. D. John Adams. Answer: Thomas Jefferson. Question 2. In which year did the American Civil War begin? A. 1850. B. 1861. C. 1870. D. 1865. Answer: 1861. Question 3. What was the primary purpose of the Lewis and Clark expedition? A. Establish trade with Canada. B. Explore the Western Territories. C. Build forts along the Mississippi. D. Find gold in California. Answer: Explore the Western Territories. Question 4. Which amendment abolished slavery in the United States? A. 12th. B. 13th. C. 14th. D. 15th. Answer: 13th. Question 5. Who was the first Secretary of the Treasury? A. Alexander Hamilton. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. John Adams. D. James Madison. Answer: Alexander Hamilton. Question 6. What year did the United States purchase Alaska from Russia? A. 1867. B. 1875. C. 1859. D. 1881. Answer: 1867. Question 7. Who was the president during the Louisiana Purchase? A. Thomas Jefferson. B. James Monroe. C. John Adams. D. James Madison. Answer: Thomas Jefferson. Question 8. Which battle is considered the turning point of the American Revolutionary War? A. Battle of Yorktown. B. Battle of Bunker Hill. Battle of Saratoga. D. Battle of Lexington. Answer: Battle of Saratoga. Question 9. Who was the only president to resign from office? A. Richard Nixon. B. Gerald Ford. C. Lyndon Johnson. D. Jimmy Carter. Answer: Richard Nixon. Question 10. What was the main cause of the War of 1812? A. Slavery disputes. B. British interference with American trade. C. Westward expansion. D. Taxation without representation. Answer: British interference with American trade. Question 11. Which U.S. president issued the Emancipation Proclamation? A. Abraham Lincoln. B. Ulysses S. Grant. C. Andrew Johnson. D. James Buchanan. Answer: Abraham Lincoln. Question 12. Where was the first permanent English settlement in America? A. Plymouth. B. Jamestown. C. Roanoke. D. Boston. Answer: Jamestown. Question 13. What was the main goal of the Monroe Doctrine? A. Promote industrialization in the U.S. B. Prevent European interference in the Americas. C. Expand slavery westward. D. Establish trade with Asia. Answer: Prevent European interference in the Americas. Question 14. Who led the civil rights movement in the 1960s with "I Have a Dream" speech? A. Malcolm X. B. Martin Luther King Jr. C. Rosa Parks. D. Frederick Douglass. Answer: Martin Luther King Jr. Question 15. Which U.S. president signed the Social Security Act into law? A. Franklin D. Roosevelt. B. Herbert Hoover. C. Harry Truman. D. Dwight Eisenhower. Question 16. What was the purpose of the Federalist Papers? A. Declare independence. B. Explain and support the Constitution. C. Abolish slavery. D. Organize political parties. Answer: Explain and support the Constitution. Question 17. Who commanded the American forces during the Revolutionary War? A. Benjamin Franklin. B. George Washington. C. Thomas Jefferson. D. John Hancock. Answer: George Washington. Question 18. When did the United States enter World War I? A. 1914. B. 1917. C. 1915. D. 1918. Answer: 1917. Question 19. Which U.S. president is known for the square deal? A. Theodore Roosevelt. B. William Taft. C. Woodrow Wilson. D. Calvin Coolidge. Answer: Theodore Roosevelt. Question 21. Who was the first woman to serve in the U.S. Supreme Court? A. Sandra Day O'Connor. B. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. C. Sonia Sotomayor. D. Elena Kagan. Answer: Sandra Day O'Connor. Question 22. What was the main goal of the Lewis and Clark expedition? A. Establish trade routes with Mexico. B. Explore the Louisiana Territory. C. Defeat Native American tribes. D. Find a route to Asia. Answer: Explore the Louisiana Territory. Question 23. What was the significance of the Missouri Compromise? A. Ended the Civil War. B. Maintained balance between free and slave states. C. Created the Republican Party. D. Abolished slavery in Missouri. Answer: Maintained balance between free and slave states. Question 24. Who was the leader of the Confederate Army during the Civil War? A. Ulysses S. Grant. B. Robert E. Lee. C. Stonewall Jackson. D. Jefferson Davis. Answer: Robert E. Lee. Question 25. Which U.S. president was assassinated in 1963? A. Lyndon B. Johnson. B. John F. Kennedy. C. Richard Nixon. D. Dwight Eisenhower. Answer: John F. Kennedy. Question 26. What was the main purpose of the Homestead Act of 1862? A. Provide land to settlers in the West. B. End slavery. C. Build railroads. D. Regulate trade with Europe. Answer: Provide land to settlers in the West. Question 27. Who wrote the Star-Spangled Banner? A. Francis Scott Key. B. Thomas Paine. C. James Madison. D. Alexander Hamilton. Answer: Francis Scott Key. Question 28. What year did women gain the right to vote in the U.S.? A. 1919. B. 1920. C. 1921. D. 1918. Answer: 1920.
Question 29. Which U.S. president led the nation during the Great Depression and World War II? A. Woodrow Wilson. B. Franklin D. Roosevelt. C. Herbert Hoover. D. Harry Truman. Answer: Franklin D. Roosevelt. Question 30. What was the main cause of the American Revolution? A. Westward expansion. B. Taxation without representation. C. Slavery disputes. D. Trade with Asia. Answer: Taxation without representation.